I don't know, dude. There's just something about not having like a shock mount or something protecting me from like it sounding like I'm in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, no, I know, I understand. I mean, I don't know. I've just kind of gotten. I think it's okay. I'll be okay. Come on, Zach. I have my mic technique. Come on now. What who do you think I am, Zach? Zach, come on now. I do this for a living. I don't do this for a living, but I do it for a while. I can do no shock mount, Zach. Come on now.
Who's starting today?
Am I rubbing against it? What's good, everybody? I'm starting today, Zach. I guess. I'm Anuki, and this is Zach. We're uncast station. Cast? Don't know where the cast came from. Probably the couch. No one's residing on the couch right now.
We don't even have a couch angle right now.
Maybe we should just have the couch angle all the time to flip to the couch angle and have nobody there.
Just po-yo-yo with headphones
Well,
on?
whenever we just mention the thing, we'd be like, oh, and then casting couch, and then you switch to the casting couch, and it's just not there. There's just nobody there. It's just empty.
Yeah.
But it would be as if someone was going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense. But also at the same time, I would have to set up the R6 like every time.
That's true. All right, I guess I get another M200. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. See, I don't know if we should make the R6 a permanent part of the set or not.
I mean, it's only we don't use it all the time. So that's why we've been like okay with using it. Also, have you seen did you see the Jackson's look or Jackson's angle on the previous episode? It looks
nice. So good.
It's so nice. I saw it on, I mean, I always know, like, obviously there's going to be a dimensional gap between this M200 and the R6 that's right next to it. But I saw it when I put it in Premiere. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah,
damn detail, bro.
Okay, so one thing that I really, really love is using like prime lenses on the R6 because you were like, oh, why don't you just use the 24 to 70 f2.8? And I was like, whatever. But it's a 2.8. And then we were just kind of like, oh yeah, we can just use a 50 mil and then it'll be fine. And it ended up turning out way better.
Yeah, it's so nice. I don't know if we can use it for like 2 guests because it might be too tight, but it's nice for a single guest. Gotta say. But yeah, we're happy to have guests again. So I'm pumped. Like before, whenever there was a guest, I was like internally, I'm like, oh shit, oh God, there's so much we gotta do. But no, now it's just like, heck yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think we've gotten it down to enough of a science to where it still requires a little bit of setup because I have to set up the R6, but...
It sounds great, by the way. It's okay.
I was trying to talk over it.
I know. Well, I'm going to be the guy to ruin it, yes.
I was trying to not acknowledge it, and then you were just like, yes, listen to the...
yes, the great sounds of a microphone with no shock mount. That sounds great.
Shock mountless microphone. But outside of setting up the R6 and maybe changing a little bit of lighting stuff, it really is not that bad to set up for another person.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know because I mean, getting another M200 isn't really in the cards anyways. So you know the vibes.
How much do M200s cost?
It's not that much actually, but
all we need is a camera body.
That's true.
I think
that's true. That's true.
Okay, wait.
All we need is a camera body. Let me just grab a camera body. I thought
I just got my tax return. I can.
My tax return is still stuck in Credit Karma.
Fucking Credit Karma.
Credit Karma. So here's what happened, right? Here's what happened. By the way, we're gonna talk about anime today, but hold on.
I love how we never start the episodes that we talk about anime like talking about.
I'm tired of doing hey guys, it's like a scripted. Hey guys, welcome back to Uneducation Station. Today we're gonna talk about this. When we're in the new set, where it's all casual and stuff, and like I feel like I don't think we need to cold open, but at least like come on, we're vibing. There's the music playing now right now, but it's like come on, we're chilling. But you know what I mean? We're just having fun. We'll talk about anime because we need to because it's been a long time. But real quick, I guess. So tax returns, right? Because we're adults now, we talk about taxes.
She said, but
no, this is the way I did it. Is I did it with a tax return thing, right? And it's great, it's fine. And then I guess it's my fault for not reading it correctly, but it also like, come on, that's fucked because it was plastered. I know it's like an ad kind of thing, but it was plastered it within the thing, right? Within the actual tax doing service, right?
Mhm.
That will not be named for just in case reasons. And it was
Didn't
like
we already name drop it?
I didn't use Credit Karma because Credit Karma is just viewing your credit karma. And that's fine.
Okay.
So here's where the problem lies. I was doing my taxes or my tax returns and stuff, and then after I finished, right, I was like, okay, cool. When I got my quote, I'm like, all right, cool, nice, blah blah blah. Tax stuff. We know about the tax stuff, and then right, I get prompted, hey, would you instead of waiting like X amount of weeks, to get your like 2-3 weeks, you can get yours within like 2 or 3 days by using Credit Karma thing or whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's fine. I mean, I know Credit Karma. We all know Credit Karma. I've used Credit Karma. It's fine. It's whatever, Sure, why not? What I didn't realize was that it would basically go into Credit Karma, like as if it's like a second bank account, like a second checking account type of thing.
Oh, shit.
And then I was like, oh, well, that's okay because you can just transfer, and you can. And I look at my bank, and I was like, okay, cool. What's there? Good, And then it didn't let me transfer. Now, is this because it's a local bank? Because it's just the one over there? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But it was listed there. But I've never had the time to figure it out. Or I need to try it again, see if it does. Maybe it was just a one-off. And I need to also contact my bank to see, hey, what's the vibes? Maybe they're just rejecting it or something and I'm not seeing it. But yeah, so I've had my tax returns just stuck in there for like the whole year. Since April.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. But I got a card with it. Like a credit card or debit card. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just start using it, I guess. But then I don't know. But I don't have, maybe there are benefits, but I don't know the benefits. I just rather just, give my money.
Is it a credit card or a debit?
Well, it's a debit because they have the money.
Oh, right. Okay. I was gonna say, what you could do is just take that card, go to like an ATM and just pull all the money out in cash.
I suppose so, but that would be awkward. It's kind of clunky.
Yeah, and also having like $2,000 in cash is never fun for like anybody. Mm-hmm. I never like having more than like $100 on me in cash.
Are you kidding me? I don't like having more than like $20 in me. But I use like the Slim Boy wallets, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason why I have money in there is if like I have like a 20 just because why not? It's 20, you can slip it in there. I have a couple 5s because why not? You can slip it in there, and I have a couple 1s and for 5s and 1s for tipping purposes or something, or vending machine purposes. Although nowadays most of them take card as well. But these days I've been Apple Pay kind of a guy, or mobile pay, And I'm like, yeah, this is it kind of just.
It kind of just works.
It does kind of just work. And it's like, I'd rather just do that. And I would never, because the people talk about like a no wallet life. I don't think I could ever do that because too many things I need in my wallet, like health cards and driver's licenses and such. Like, I don't know.
It is kind of tricky though, because you do kind of have the opportunity to like get a phone case that just has a couple slits for cards and your ID or whatever, and then you'd be able to just go, no wallet. And I had like I just had like a old clunky trifold wallet, and that sucked. And then now I have like pretty much a chunkier version of like one of those Ridge wallets. Where instead of having like the fancy little thing where you push the button and all your cards come up, it's just slits like a regular wallet. But it's so much nicer because like I'm able to just have it in my pocket and it doesn't feel like I'm sitting on a brick.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't have the fancy thing that like you hit the thing and it pulls up. You also have to kind of just manually take it out with like the slits. But it's fine. And literally anything is better than the big old trifold wallet. And yeah, I don't have like a grand like we're not this, and anyways, that's a good segue to our sponsor, Ridge Wallet. No, they're just not. It's nice to have a slimmer wallet when you're a dude. Because of standards, we don't carry purses and such. Would you ever have a fanny pack or anything like that? I've thought of myself. See, I'm actually not the biggest fan of the way they look because I think they look silly, just in general.
So it's interesting because
interesting.
if it's serving like a specific purpose, like
Sure.
you know, you're going on a hike and you need some like water and
Sure.
snacks, those types of things. You don't want to carry around a backpack, fanny pack, boom, perfect. But like in your day to day where you only keep like 2 things in there and you're like, I'm wearing a fanny pack because I'm being efficient. It's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But, you know, like at work, I still have a, it's kind of like a fanny pack, but it's just like a bunch of pockets where I can put like all of my pens and, you know, like a notepad and whatnot. And so I've been using that for probably like a year, and I don't think I could work without it. But yeah, it really just depends on the circumstance for me, because like it's supposed to be used as like a utilitarian purpose. And then people are just like, fuck it. Like when I went and shot a wedding with Ben, shot photos for a wedding with Ben.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
So I ended up using a fanny pack for that. Just because I needed to.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
He complimented his own joke. Oh my God.
Yeah, I ended up using a fanny pack just because I only had one lens that I needed to swap between. And so it was it wasn't really that bad. But yeah, for like just a day in the life, I don't think I'm going to be a fanny pack guy.
Sure. Because I like sling bags.
Oh, like the draw?
Like, kind of. Well, the thing about those is that I actually used to just wear those all the time. Because
I remember that.
Yes, the prairie one. Prairie, I all the time I always had it. I had my things in there. Like I put my coat in there, and I have some pens in there and such, and I my wallet in there. Fuck it, you know. I got so used to. I just always had it around with me, essentially as just a purse or a bag, because I don't like walking around with a backpack. I feel like that's a weird thing to say, because I feel like everybody in the Northwest walks around with a backpack as their secondary means of bringing storage with them. If it's not like a purse,
they just have a second inventory.
Yes, it's like this is a big ass backpack, and I'm just not a big ass backpack type of guy.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? Me too.
We feel the same way. I explained it perfectly.
Oh, me too. Yes.
It's kind of tricky because like I walk around with a camera bag like all the fucking time, and so I can't.
Need sling bags for cameras, like with the slits and dividers and such.
Oh, I know. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because like I want to get like my kit set up, like my camera bag kit set up the way that I want it, and then I'll kind of. Like I'm looking at getting a new camera bag pretty soon. One that's a little bit more hefty, I guess, a little bit more substantial. Because I mean, you know, I'm carrying around 20 pounds worth of camera gear, and it feels like my backpack's gonna fall apart, and that's kind of scary. And so I don't know. We'll kind of see. I'm tempted to do the strap life where it's just like it goes across your chest like this, and then you're just able to carry it around like that. But yeah, I swear, dude, I'm starting to get the sniffly sniffles now, and it's really.
I know, right? You know, I think I've learned. I think I know. Sorry, I'm over here right now. I think it's the AC unit. So I think about it, right? I think about when I actually start getting sniffles, and it's when we start recording. It's when I go live on my Twitch TV second ago. It's when that happens, and I'm like, okay, well, what's the constant? The lights? I mean, maybe I'm allergic to maybe the lights are emitting some sort of radiation.
I'm allergic to lumens.
Once we reach a lumen threshold, I start losing it. I think maybe it's the filter. Maybe I have to clean the filter because I haven't done that. But would that give me sniffles? I don't know, you know?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if there's like pollen or something in between the filter and like where the air is going, then it's just going to constantly be blowing like little bits of pollen and whatever the hell else.
You're right. Okay. I'll clean the damn filter. I mean, you're supposed to be cleaning filters in general. this is a guy who advocates cleaning PCs, but I don't clean my damn AC filter. What is this guy? You know what I mean?
Who the hell is this guy?
Who the hell?
Let's talk about anime.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, that was just the pre-talk, Zach. That was the pre-talk, the preliminaries.
The prelude.
Ooh, that water was warm. I don't know how old that is. Sorry, I realized that we just kind of started recording and we didn't really get any coffee or water or anything. But so we watched Weathering with You. And I know some of you are like, really? It's been out for like 3 years. But, well, for Zach, it's understandable because he had only gotten into the game recently, right? For me, is Weathering with You a sad anime? Was that a question that somebody asked on Goggle?
That is 100% a question that people ask.
Hell yeah. So, we watched it. So what is my excuse, Zach? What is my excuse for not watching it? Well, my excuse is simple. My fault. No, I just never got around to it. I wanted to watch it when it finally came. I saw when it came like into global, I saw when they had a global release, right? Because usually what happens is, and it's going to be happening now, because actually this season, Makoto Shinkai's third movie that I told you about is gonna premiere.
Ooh.
So us global boys across the pond are gonna have to sit here and wait like 6-7 months to see it. I'm like, fuck yeah, you know, but it's okay. It's all good. We're gonna sit here and wait.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's all good. We can sit here and just wait. It's fine. But yeah, no, we watched Weathering with You, and it was. Well, I think it was good. What do you think, Zach?
I thought that it was way better than I had expected it to be. Because
me too, yeah.
You know, when you hear about a movie that's like a sequel to another movie and you're just like, oh shit, here we go again. You know, it's just going to be like a cash grab type thing. And then the way that they did it with this movie is they had it set in like the same place. In like the same area, but the story was
Tokyo.
Well, yeah, it was in Tokyo. The story was completely different, equally as like kind of crazy and out there, but you know, we always sit here and talk about how when they make a world make sense, like it's just like they abide by the rules of their own world and everything like that. You know, go back and watch the No Game No Life episode because we talked about that a lot.
Like episode 3 or like 4. Yeah, episode 4.
Was it episode 4?
It was episode 4. Yeah. Well, you know, so for me, I was going into it right, and I'm like, I know this is gonna be a good movie because it's just, you know, it's Makoto Shinkai, great director. We've seen Your Name, it's word based, but because of that, and this is my fault. I was just kind of under this impression of just like, we're just going to watch like another Your Name. Not that that's a bad thing, but we're just going to watch another like sci-fi kind of realism, environmental porn anime. And it's going to be great, you know? And that's all. And that's kind of what I was going into it. Like, okay, we're going to watch another, like, it's going to be great, but I'm not like, it's probably going to be like, all right, you know, like another Studio Ghibli movie, another sci-fi type of movie, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was way more than that too. It was that and more. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. He's just a great director. It's just so I feel like it's funny to talk about directors when you're talking about an animated film, but it's equally as important, you know?
Yeah.
Because, well, as he's the director, he's also the writer, you know? So it's like, damn. I think all the shots were so perfect. All the timing was so perfect. One thing I love about his films is the voice acting, specifically the way conversation flows, because of how casual it is.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think we talked about this when we did the Your Name episode. You were talking about how they used like a different dialect of Japanese, which is like a little bit more casual and not like the...
Well, that would be... You're right. But that would be... I talked about... Well, I mentioned some sort of differences in like the way... Like, for example, when you would watashi versus ore wa boku, when you're to reference I, like you myself. Watashi would be more feminine, boku, ore would be like a masculine. Things like that. Also, I can't remember, but they may have had more of like a country Japanese accent whenever Mitsuha was in her country area or rural area, perhaps, maybe. But you're right. What I mean more is just literally how they speak. Because, excuse me, you watch anime and you watch a lot of anime and you think about the voice acting and you love the Japanese voice acting. It's really good. But oftentimes it's really over the top. Like, it's like really... I want to say Disney character like, but we don't know what that means here in America, like as English speakers. Yeah. So it just sounds really cool. But to me, it's really high energy and not really realistic. And this is by no means realistic Japanese speaking. But the way they speak is like really more just a mellow tone. It's as if some normal people are having a conversation, and I love that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're using like a character voice, but it just feels like they're just two people just talking, and I love that. It's so good.
Yeah, and I think a good way to explain it is, you know, they kind of have to have like an animated way of speaking. You know, like everything has to have like intent and purpose and everything like that, and so it can feel a little bit dramatic, I guess would be a good way to put it. But in Weathering with You, it was very much like how I would imagine those types of conversations to go. And even
in between like two kids, or an adult and a kid, or two adults,
right, or a kid with a gun pointed at an adult, and he's like, that's not real.
That whole okay, so how do we want to structure this? Are we just going to jump into spoilers immediately, or do you want to speak vaguely?
I think we should give a preemptive spoiler warning because...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll start hitting the spoil... Again, this is not like a... We've foregone the anime episode analysis format. That's not really that. We're just talking. So that's why the preemptive... I think a lot of people... If you haven't seen Weathering with You, please watch Weathering with You, especially if you watch anime. Watch Your Name. That would be very helpful first. But I would assume most of us have probably watched Your Name at this point. Watch Weathering with You in case you're late to it like me. Excuse me. And then come back. Because this is going to be a treat. Because I have a lot to say. I feel like Zach may have a lot to say. But it's been a long time since we talked about anime. And it's been a long time since we talked about an anime movie. And I love anime movies. Because anime movies have so many good things about them. Zach, I'm starting with the music.
Dude, oh my god.
Radwimps, let's go. We get Radwimps again, who also did the OST for Your Name.
Yeah. Dude, okay. I think I talked to you about this when we were there, like watching it. But like I loved
Weathering with You?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I loved the fact that they chose their music so perfectly for the type of environment that they wanted to make. You know, like when I think of shows like Demon Slayer, you think of like that really powerful theatrical orchestral, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And then with both Your Name and Weathering with You, it kind of gave you that kind of like city rock vibe, and it was just super cool. And then there was also those moments of like super epic, like beautiful orchestrations that they did, and it was just
the main theme. So I've always known the main theme the whole time. I forget what it's called. So maybe it sounds like I'm lying, but I promise I know. But it's been a while. But there was a point in time where I heard it because it was the main theme for like the trailers and stuff.
Right.
And I love it so much. You may all do it not there.
Yeah.
You know that, and it's like, first of all, it's fucking fantastic. It's a great arrangement, and I listened to it so religiously because it was so good. I heard it in the PV, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm coming. This is great. Music coming. This is what happens, Zach, when you're a music nerd and you hear good music, Zach. You music come. And I heard it so much, it's like I'm so ready to hear it. And you'll never hear this version until the end of this. Like it's just like you feel a glimpse of it. The there's piano, like soft piano versions of it, and he would also sing a little bit of it here and there, but you wouldn't hear the full ass track until the very end of the movie. And that was like the greatest payoff, as we call it. You know, that was like, oh, this is so nice. Thank God. But the way so one of my favorite things is everything felt so in the OST. It would have him, and there was also another girl who would sing it with him, and it would basically just play it over and over again, the same OST, just in different ways, right? But it was always so distant. It wasn't very epic. Well, sometimes it would be, but it wasn't immediately epic. It was always just like a soft piano or something, or just a light drum or something, and it would just have his voice playing in a much lower tempo, and it would just kind of make you feel just kind of within the wave of the environment, right? Like you're enjoying the environment, you're enjoying the atmosphere and stuff, but it would skew itself.
Yeah.
Like when he was whenever things were going wrong. And when things are going wrong, Zach, you would hear the music like kind of jitter and distort, and it makes you so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my gosh, I loved that so much. When he pulled out the gun and the music started going like, he's like, oh my God.
One of the things that is super special about that is that it gives you that sense of like familiarity, because they're not trying to introduce new music to you while you're already trying to pay attention to so many things at once. And so when they take like a main theme and then they just kind of like modify it and change it over the course of the movie, and then you finally, like at the very end, you get that payoff of like the full,
because you've heard it so much. Tanjiro's theme, right?
Yeah.
You heard it. You don't know you hear it. Well, you hear it literally the entire show leading up to episode, what was it, 17, 18? 19 during the fight with Rui. It's there. You don't realize it, but it's there, as well as Nezuko's theme. You just don't realize it. And then when it comes up in this epic insert song, you're like, oh, and you don't know why you love it so much. But it's because you subconsciously knew that this was his theme, and you subconsciously knew this was Nezuko's theme, and you're like, yes, my time. That's basically what they did.
I know that we're not talking about Demon Slayer, but I saw on Spotify they put Nosuke's and Zenitsu's themes on Spotify, and they're fucking epic.
Okay, this is crazy because, oh man. For season 2, right? Okay, why we're talking about Demon Slayer.
Okay, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's... I think that if we tried to keep talking about Weathering with You and go through like whole episode, or like just talking about...
You're right. Yeah.
It'll just be really hard. We'll get sidetracked.
Yeah,
I think talking about the music in anime, I think that is like where we will be able to actually stay on track with like a certain topic for any prolonged period of time.
Zenitsu's theme might be, oh my gosh, I don't want to say it's my favorite. I hate that kid, Zach. But I'm reading the manga right now, and he's actually really cool. But I still hate him. But what I loved about his theme, because when it played in season 2, right, during the big fight, right?
Yeah.
It kind of played, I feel like, in season 2, but it just didn't really hit the same. But I know Zenitsu's theme because you always hear it when he's being a dumbass.
Yeah.
It's like the same, just kind of broken chord progression of just like the kind of chord progression of like a dumb, like, dumb music is the best way I can say it. Like
simple?
Not simple music. I mean like literally like losing brain cell type music. Like you know what I mean? Like playing a recorder type.
So mumble rap.
No. How do I explain it? It's like you lose brain cells listening to it because of the way the chord progression is.
I know what you're talking about.
Because the way the notes are hitting, it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then Zenitsu's theme happens, and now it's an orchestrated piece, and it's still the same chord structures. I'm like, what? Why is this fire? It's so good. Oh my gosh. I think, that idea of there's little seeds, Zach. You know this song.
Yeah.
You know this music. I've showed it to you this entire time. I played a little bit in the beginning. It's here in the middle. It's here when you're having this hard time with your heart, and then we're going to play it again at the very end. you know this song. I know I gave you this song. You just don't know it.
Just that subconscious familiarity is just so cool. And when they do it properly and they're not just like playing the same song over and over and over and over and over and over again, it ends up being super satisfying when you get that payoff. Like you were talking about, like being able to hear the song all the way through. And like with Tanjiro's theme in episode 19, you know, like that was the first time we were ever able to actually hear any big portion of the song clearly without other things going on, without it just being like piano or, you know, anything like that. Like you get that payoff. And it's also in the credits. So it's like,
yeah, you're like, yes. It's so good. I love the music in this. Radwimps is a great composer, great band, great artists. They are great, and it's like, and they're gonna do it for the third movie. Because thank God, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I don't see why they wouldn't, because that collab is too golden. I wouldn't be mad if they did something else, but I'd be kind of upset. But you know, I think of Your Name 3, basically, if you will.
Yeah.
I think of Radwimps as the OST. It goes hand in hand, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Did I link you the trailer for it? Did we watch the trailer for it or no?
I think we watched the trailer like right after we watched Your Name.
Not for Weathering With You, for the third movie.
Oh yeah.
We did, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts. But then again, see the same thing, right? I watched it and I'm like, oh, this, like, it just looks like another Makoto Shinkai movie. That's not a bad thing. It's just, it looks like it's just gonna be like on the surface. I think that's what it is, right? Because I got what I thought I was gonna get, and then I got way more.
Right.
I think that's because I'm watching the trailer for this next movie. I can't remember what it's called. I apologize, but it's about doors. I don't know. Sci-fi things. Fun. Dude turns into a chair. Who thinks of that, Zach? And
the time I was reincarnated as a slime.
into a chair. Shit. I'm going to get what I'm going to get, because what I'm looking at is what I'm going to get, and it's going to be great. It's going to be visually stunning. The voice acting is going to be incredible. It's going to be funny here and there. It's going to be probably sad here and there. It's going to be very emotional. I'm like, yeah, cool. And I'm going to get that. I'm going to get exactly what I'm expecting, but I'm also going to get way more, because
the music is going to absolutely fucking slap.
Yeah, and the voice acting and the emotion. I didn't think I was going to get emotional during Weathering With You.
I didn't think so either.
Like, I genuinely did not expect. Like, in my brain, in my head canon, not my head canon, that's not the right word, but in my brain, I felt like I was just going to know the flow of what this movie was going to do. Not that it was going to be cliche, but I just felt in my head that I knew what was going to go down. And then I was wrong, because I was not expecting anything that happened. I was not expecting the idea of the what is the rain shaman, I suppose, where they sacrifice the rain shaman, like the mythical thing, like as a myth.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Sunshine Girl.
Well, yes. Well,
like,
I mean,
you're talking about the same person, just explaining it.
Oh yeah. I was not expecting. Like, I don't know if it's real. I feel like it sounds like it'd be real. It sounds like it'd be something. It was something based off of actual mythology, mythos, a thing.
Yeah,
an actual religion type of thing. Not a religion, you know.
Like a deity or
right.
Yeah,
like one of those type of stories. It sounds like it would exist, and if it does, well, that sucks. But you know, that would be really cool to have a little bit of truth in that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that it's based off of something in traditional Japanese culture. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, because I know that a lot of the beliefs, at least in traditional Japanese, was like polytheistic, so they believed in multiple different gods and those types of things. And so, I mean, it would make sense. Mm-hmm. I know we say like, oh yeah, water goddess, that makes sense. But like coming from like a like with the power of hindsight and looking at a lot of the different cultural elements in Japan and all of that kind of stuff. Wow, that thought just went.
Nope. Okay.
But yeah, it would make sense if it was actually at least based off of something truthful in culture and stuff like that. Also, I thought it was really fucking cool. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
I thought it was so fucking cool that they let Tokyo sink.
You know, I agree. I wanted to bring this up at some point. We're gonna fuck it now. Fuck it, dude. Because I kept bringing it up subtly because I wanted to talk about it, but it's again because I want to bring up a title, and then, but I don't talk about spoilers, right? Because my stream
Always be plugging.
What?
Always be plugging.
Oh yeah, of course. I never talk about spoilers in my stream for obvious reasons.
Right.
Now's the time. I agree. I think obviously, right? It's like, hey, fuck you, you know, like for the rest of the world. But at the same time, I think the way they did it is really nice. Like the way, like the selfish reasons of two kids and the older lady who is the grandmother of the I could see it. Taki, which is cool that Taki Mitsuha got a cameo, by the way, and you didn't fucking notice, but that's okay because I noticed and I creamed my pants.
I noticed, and then you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that's where I know him from.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, they did have a cameo, and I was like, cool. But the grandmother who was introduced, kind of sat down with Hotuka, which is the main the MC of this, the main character, and he was like, I'm sorry that this happened or whatever. I think it was really cool because he came back after 3 years or whatever. Was it? Yeah, I think 3 years. And he checked the mail for the Sunshine Girl and saw that from like 3 years ago, I guess, because what they were doing was they had a business where they would bring the Sunshine Girl to certain things, like you can pay to have her pray for the rain to go away because it was always raining. And then, you know, that was one of the requests, and it was fascinating that he would go to her for a request that was like 2-3 years ago, and also that she's still there in some sort of apartment complex. But what she did to that old lady was, you know, just kind of say, you know, Tokyo used to be underwater, you know, and Japan used to be like a bay or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if this is what nature kind of brought its course, then humans will kind of figure it out again over time. And, you know, it was, I think what we were expecting was, Hina, the girl, she sacrifices herself in the beginning, and they have this moment where he goes to rescue her. And then I think what we were all expecting was that they talk it out, and then she proceeds to sacrifice herself for the greater good. Because what we got right was the conflict of she's going to sacrifice herself for the greater good. Horuka doesn't want that because he loves her, and then they have their moment, and then after they have their moment, you know, they get their moment, and then they're okay with, you know, because it's no longer a self-centered decision from Hina. It's more of a decision they made together.
Right.
I think that's what we were expecting, and then she would sacrifice herself, and then they didn't, and I'm like, I like that. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I love when movies and shows subject or like defy your expectations. Yeah, I love when they make you think that you're going to go a certain way, the story's going to be a certain way. Also, random side note: your lights are changing colors behind your shelf.
Yes. They're changing colors behind you as well, Zach. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Oh, was that on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was an accident. I didn't mean to like detract from anything that was
audio listeners are completely confused. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't know there was lights. I thought they just shoot in a dark room.
Just microphones, nothing else. I love the way that they subverted. There's the word I was looking for. Subverted
your expectations.
Great
words. Yes.
And they made you think that the story was going to go a certain way and everything like that. And then they were just like, nah, bitch. And then they just went a completely different direction. And what that ended up doing was giving you an ending that you weren't necessarily expecting, but it's still a kind of happy ending
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, everyone's alive still. We
right.
We don't know how many people this flood killed.
Well, sure,
but
that's not important, Zach. It's okay because those two are alive. It's all good, Zach.
they're in love.
They're in love. It's a happy ending, Zach. It's all good. Love prevails, Zach. Not the hundreds of people that got washed away and their houses are gone. Their families may be gone.
Hundreds.
Dude. Oh, you're right.
Millions.
Yeah, you're right. It's the entire damn country.
Tokyo.
I imagine just like China, like, what the fuck? What is going on? What just happened?
Mother Nature's like, hold my beer.
I'm trying to think. Because I think it was because I could be wrong, but I think the point, like the reason why it was raining so much was because of a teeter-totter effect of her, right? Because she would use her powers to stop the rain.
Mm-hmm.
But what I imagine is that it didn't stop the rain. It just held the rain and built it up. To which case, whenever it began to rain again, it began to rain again, you know?
Right.
And that's why I kept getting harder and harder because she didn't stop it. She just put a cap on it.
Put a cork on it, and then, you know, the pressure will start to build, and then it's just like...
And it's just bad.
Bad news bears.
I imagine because Tokyo itself is actually pretty rainy. So I imagine it's a very close hitting type of experience for it to be incredibly rainy when you're watching it, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is cool. This is kind of like real life, you know? And it makes you think, just kind of gives you a different idea of like the rain, I guess. Just a way to think of the rain. Is there actually a rain shaman? Who knows, right? Who knows if we're right about deities and, you know, those type of things. But it's interesting to think about. The gun sequence, the first gun sequence, I just want to talk about it really quick because they did it perfectly. Because when you watch the trailer, I don't remember if we watched the trailer for with you.
I don't think we did.
They had the gun there. Like, they had him and he pointed and he shot. And I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. And then it just happened like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like, oh. 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 And then it happens again later, right? And then you're like, oh, that's crazy. And I do want to talk about it because that moment is one of my favorite moments. That last gunshot he did when he took it against what's his name? Keisuke Suga, right? The man who took him in.
So, okay, I guess to kind of give everyone like a general idea of
Sure.
the story outline. So basically this kid, Hodoka, he runs away from home, goes to Tokyo, doesn't have anywhere to live, doesn't have anywhere to sleep. Suga gives him a job as his assistant. Mm-hmm. And then basically he's a journalist and, mm-hmm. you know, he writes for like conspiracies and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Basically, they found this report on a quote unquote sunshine girl. Mm-hmm. And so they basically send Hodoka to go find the sunshine girl. Mm-hmm. He finds her. One thing leads to another. They become felons.
As one does.
They become felons. They're running away from the law. And then...
Now, mind you, a lot has happened, you know, between that point, but yes.
Hodoka likes the sunshine girl, so he decides to evade police with her. Mm-hmm. And it just becomes... No, she decides to help him, mm-hmm. I think, right? Yeah, because he, fucking, what's his face? The guy who Hodoka almost shot in the fucking head.
We are breezing through a lot here.
Well, okay. I think the funniest part is that even after all of this is being said, if you go back and watch the movie, the things that we talk about are going to make sense, but I'm glad that we're pulling them out of context.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah. That's so funny.
It's really funny when you just kind of take all of these things that have happened out of context, and then you're just like, yeah, that's a thing that happened. Hodoka almost killed someone, almost shot him in the fucking head, like, and then they ran away from the law, and then the Sunshine Girl made a website.
I want to mention that I think the way so. she didn't become a felon immediately.
Right.
She became a felon like towards the end when you found out that she was like living on her own.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Because they're not supposed to, because she's not of age.
Apparently she's 14 and she's been acting.
Well, she's pretending to be 18 or maybe presumably older. Which was crazy, by the way. It blew my fucking mind, by the way. But what was I trying to say? The oh my gosh. Okay, so for the first gun scene, right? When essentially Hina takes on escorting because she needs money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's young and she's trying to, support her little brother living alone, right? She loses her McDonald's job. Right.
Oh my god, the fucking quarter pounder scene. So adorable.
That was so cute. Oh my gosh. That was good. And then, Hodoka sees that. He tries to stop them, tackles him and tries to save Hina, but turns out that's Hina's job or whatever, because he thought she was being, she was being hit on or whatever. And then as you do, you pull a gun out. I think that concept is crazy in my mind because like gun law in Japan is like nuts. So it's like, don't you dare have one. And they present that immediately in the beginning of the show when he arrives in Tokyo,
mm-hmm.
and they have that intercom, like the not intercom, but like some sort of announcement on the screens talking about gun law, but it's
mm-hmm.
so brief. It's immediate, like and I don't even think it was subtitled. Like it just happened. They just talked about gun law and how you should not have a gun. It's an incredible felony to have a gun, to be possession of a gun.
Right.
So it immediately that just kind of subconsciously is planted into your brain that, oh, gun equals no here. That is bad.
Here in America land, we like big boom boom sticks. But in Nihongo land,
they say no, big fire sticks bad.
Pew pews are no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well. I guess you should. He happens upon a gun because he grabs it from a garbage can.
Yeah, he found it in a garbage can, and then he went to the McDonald's. I think he found it on the floor, or like someone, or no, he got his shit rocked by the same guy.
The same dude, bro, man.
Yeah, and then he got thrown into a dumpster spills, he finds a bag has gun, he goes to Walmart. No,
he goes to McDonald's first, then he opens the bag.
Yeah, and then finds out it's a gun, and then shooty bang bang, pulls out a gun, threatens to blow a fucker's head off.
Well, okay, threatens, he does threaten, but it's like this whole scene. Okay, this entire fucking breakdown of the scene is nuts. How nervous he is. You can like the music starts to just like the music you've been listening to for the last 10 20 minutes starts to play, and it starts to break apart and distort as he starts to hyperventilate and he starts to shake, and it's like, oh my gosh, dude, I feel like if I was about to pull the trigger, what is this, episode 3, when we're talking about pulling the trigger on a bad dude? Would you do it? I don't know. He's a bad dude indefinitely. But would you do it?
I love how we're calling back to like 70 episodes ago.
We've done that a couple times now. Because this is the second movie of essentially what was episode like 10 or something when we talked about the first movie. It's a long time coming, Zach.
Wait, holy shit, really?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. It was the episode, and I titled it specifically, Finally Zach is a Weeb, or Zach is finally a weeb. Because you were going apeshit over your name.
Naruto.
I was about to say Naruto for some reason. There's no reason. There's no Naruto things here. There's no reason why I should have said Naruto. But then my brain said Naruto. I'm tired.
Wow. I'm surprised.
So the second time, right, the gun scene happens. When he pulls it on the man who brought him in. Oh my god.
Okay, the fact that they for some reason brains are evading me and I can't read. Sunshine Girl and main dude bro man. They
Hina and Hodoka. Hina's not a hard name. Come on now.
Hina and Hodoka, when they were running away from the
police.
No, not from the police. From
asshole dude man?
Yeah.
Escort boy?
Escort boy. Hodoka took the gun and threw it in this like abandoned building. And basically they end up back at that exact same place when shit's going sideways. Hodaka's running from the police. Everyone's a felon. Everything's going to shit. You know, like they're just trying to save Hina, basically. And so Hodaka gets not pinned, but like he gets cornered by the guy who brought him up. You know, the guy who gave him a job, a home, a place to sleep and eat. And motherfucker pulls a gun on him.
I know. I was like, oh my God. I knew that the gun was going to happen again because in the trailer, the gun came out and it was a different scene, a different environment. I'm like, okay, we're going to see the gun again. And we're at the end of the movie. Like, where's the gun? And then, you know, we make it to the building. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where we're going. But I was not ready to see the gun pulled on his essentially his father, right? Essentially, the one who brought him out. That hurt my heart so much, you know. And I just imagine being in the shoes of Keisuke, who is that guy, right? Who brought Hodaka, who helped him, you know, sustain himself in Tokyo when he had no money or job or place to live. And you know, maybe it's because I'm an old man, Zach, and we're old men and we're adults. I feel like, you know, obviously the main characters are Hina and Hodaka. This entire time, the most interesting person to me was Keisuke. And his relationships and the way he was trying to handle himself, you know.
I admired the entire part of the plot where he was trying to better himself so that he could see his daughter.
I know, right?
Like, oh my God, dude. Like, when we were first introduced to him, he just seemed like a sleazebag who was just like a hustler type, basically. And you know, he's writing all of these stories about like UFOs and the sunshine girl.
Yeah.
And then as the story progresses and as we get to know him more, you really start to realize like he just wants to hang out with his kid.
You get to know a guy, you know, and you're like, damn. Yeah. Is it because we're old? Is that why we're like, oh, I feel that, man. I think what was interesting to me, especially when we got into the late, basically after the whole felony thing started breaking out, you know, and I think, you know, he was feeling super guilty with like, you know, selling him out, Hodaka out and stuff, or kicking him out and stuff, and you know, but the reason why he was doing it because he thought it was for the, you know, for the greater good. Like I. You know, so I don't get in trouble, so you don't get in trouble. You know, let's just bury the hatchet. You go back to your parents, you know, and we just kind of call this good, you know. And you know, he it wasn't for any selfish reason. At least that's not what he thought. But it was just, excuse me, he did care about Hodaka because I want to say that he thought he saw himself in Hodaka as a young kid, right?
Right.
And that's why he wanted to do what he thought was the best for him. But then you had that scene where the police was interrogating their home and he was like, sir, are you okay? He was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Why? Oh, because you're crying. And he was crying because, you know, he heard about Hodaka and, you know, what's happened and stuff. And he was like, fuck. I'm like, fuck, you know, and
then Keisuke's niece, I think.
Yes. That's me. I like Natsumi. Sorry, go ahead. Apologize.
You know, she helped Hodaka. Like she took him on her moped and she was like, all right, I guess we're running from the police.
Yeah, I guess we're outlaws.
Which I thought was super fun because, you know, the fact that they made it sound so nonchalant, like, well, guess I'm a felon now. and just that whole thing where everyone was like banding together to help him.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was waiting for it because I knew Natsumi would be the because she was kind of like the fuck it type of girl, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just waiting for that to happen. And then when she finally pulled up in the moped when he ran away from the cops, I'm like, yes. And then they had the chase scene, like, yes. But yeah, oh man, you know. Oh, that was loud as shit. Hopefully that wasn't in the it is in the video.
It is.
It's okay. What was that? Nobody cares. I don't care. I apologize though.
What was that?
I don't know, Zach. Nobody cares. Oh man. I'm trying to think. The fucking first, the brother, right? No. I want to finish my point. Keisuke in the building when he finally shot at Keisuke. When Hodaka shot at Keisuke, it's the same exact thing happened, if I remember correctly. The music kind of, the music kind of stops as they're having their scene, and once the gun fires, that's when Radwim's his vocals come in, just ever so softly, as you kind of digest what just happened. Like there's this massive tension and build up, and then the gun shoots, you know, and that's all like synonymous to everybody. That's always like a silencer to everybody right around the room. And then as everybody is like pushed to silence, his vocals kind of slowly come in. I'm like, and you do one of those exhales where you're like, you know, one of those exhales.
Yeah.
I love those exhales. You're like the shaky. Oh my gosh.
Holy
Because you're
shit.
just holding your breath for so long and you're like, oh my gosh. And that moment where it's a good film, Zach. I love this. I love the movie. So I'm so happy that it blew my expectations. I'm so sorry for doubting you. My God, Lord and Savior Makoto Shinkai. I'm sorry for doubting you.
I think it's interesting because you and I both kind of went into it with a similar expectation, and both of us were equally blown away by it. And I'm realizing that you and I are so similar when we watch anime together, because it's like we both get equally as excited about just the most random shit. And then it just turns into like us being able to sit down and talk about the score of a movie that came out in 2019. And we could sit and talk about it for hours.
Yes. As soon as that movie finished, I was like, I am listening to this a lot. And I did listen to it a lot. I love it so much that I'm excited for his next one. I'm excited for what the main theme is going to be. I mean, I'm pretty sure I should know. I haven't watched a lot of the new PV, the new trailers for the next movie, so I haven't really gotten my brain into what the main theme is going to be. But it's really nice. I love Radwim's a lot. I want to hear, because they did an orchestral an orchestral concert of the Your Name, or of the Your Name score.
That's cool.
And it is one of like the greatest things to exist, because it's awesome and it's beautiful, and they have like the movie play in the background, you know,
bro. Okay, I fucking love that.
I'll link it to you. I thought I linked it to you, maybe I didn't. It's awesome. I don't think the full, because I'm pretty sure the full thing got taken down because it wasn't posted by them, but parts of it is still there, and it's awesome. So I hope there is one with Weathering with You too. Oh my gosh, when they played Zen Zen Zens for the final thing, the Zen Zen Zen, and it's like, it's so funny here, like this like 100-person orchestra playing that song, like this like electric guitar and and it's like, it's so funny to think about, but it's so hype. Oh my gosh. And you know, it's okay, this is so wholesome. Like I can it's like one of those things you can tell everybody's just having fun. Because like oh my gosh, I don't, in the end, right, where it's just was like the dun 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 dun, and the conductor, he's like dun dun, and he jumps like dun, or sorry, I hit the mic, he goes dun. I'm like, oh, it's so nice. He was having fun too, you know.
Yeah.
I apologize, I hit the mic really hard there, but I was like, it's one. I just love when you can tell in any sort of media when they're just having fun.
Right.
It's so easy to tell when they're having fun. So I love that. I'll link it to you.
I need it in my life. But it is really fun, and it's something that you can hear too. Like the energy and the enthusiasm and everything like that. You know, you can tell when everyone up there is having fun and just having a grand old time.
There is Cowboy Bebop, right? Yeah. The there was a, I don't know if you saw it, Tank, which is one of their one of the pieces, one of the OST pieces, very popular. A lot of people know it. You might even know it just from Osmosis. There is a video
Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones. That's a great movie. I love that. Was it a movie or Did we watch
It was a movie. It was
a movie.
It was,
a movie.
fucking Chris Rock, I think.
Yeah, it was Chris Rock. That's funny. No, there was it's just this band. I say just this band. I'm sure they're greatly known, but I don't know them very much personally. And it's a grand range of people, but the main people in this video are a couple older guys, and one is playing the saxophone and one is they're both playing the saxophone, I think, or no, maybe one's playing the trumpet. I can't remember. Or I'm not trumpet, sorry, the trombone. But it's a band, it's whatever, And they're playing this OST, and you can just see how much they're just like because they're jamming, they're having fun because it is a very fun track. It's an incredibly fun track, and the solos are really fun. And there's comments. It was like, I imagine them being like the first generation Cowboy Bebop fans, because they're older men, right? But Cowboy Bebop was like 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, no, much before 2000, like 90s and stuff. So I imagine it's like, they're first generation fans, and they're playing the song and they're having fun. And they do another piece where it's like a slower sonnet, and it's like, this is nice. I enjoy this. And they're just jamming. They're like, they're like, let's, he does this. Homie does a solo, and they're like, yes, I'm like, this is good. I enjoy this. I'll link that to you maybe as well if you want good vibes for.
I would love the good vibes. Yeah,
good orchestra band vibes type of things. Are you okay, Zach?
Yeah, my phone was just buzzing a bunch, and it just buzzed again right when I put it in my pocket. I just wanted to make sure that nobody was dying, and of course it was just my phone telling me, you can call using Wi-Fi. Like, I don't fucking care. Leave me alone. But yeah, it is really cool when you have a chance to watch those performances where everyone's just having a grand old time, and especially with like OSTs and everything like that, because it all is kind of like a labor of love, and so you're able to just kind of get the positive osmosis from it. The positive osmosis Jones.
Yes.
And yeah, it's really fun, especially like when you get a chance to be a part of it too.
Sure.
Like,
Zach is excited because Anuki brought a band and orchestra
I like
pieces.
music. Speaking of music, I got another music tattoo.
Oh, wait, you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's a cassette tape.
It's a cassette tape.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's in between the piano and the treb.
Yeah. And in between this thing and that thing,
that's cool.
There's a little thing.
Nice.
I'm trying to show it, but I can't. But anyways,
very awkward angled it. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. That record. But yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Poor financial choices.
It's okay. You have a job at least. It's all good.
Yeah.
Me and this thing right here. Nobody can see it. These are moving blankets.
Why do you have moving blankets?
Good question, Zach. Thank you for asking. So the reason why I have moving blankets is because for sound dampening.
Oh.
So I thought about it, right? And I this became apparent when we were doing the Jackson episode. And I noticed as we had more microphones in the room, and there was a point in time where we had the fourth microphone on, but we just left it on.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And, you just heard a lot of room reverberation. And I'm like, well, that's kind of not very cash money. It's not that bad, but also I turned my mic down, my gain, so sensitivity of the mic, down a lot because I was trying to compensate for you guys because I noticed that my RE320 was always way louder than you and the other mics. So I turned you guys up. I turned me down. I shouldn't have done that. And hopefully I fixed that. We'll see. Although I'm not using the RE320. But what happened was, with the sensitivity down and compression brings me up, we get a lot more room reverberation just in general. And I was like, the point of the dynamic microphone is to, cut that out as much as possible. And technically we probably should be fine now, especially since I raised the gain on everybody's. So compression should be able to take a hit, and I can adjust the compression a little bit. Nobody cares about that. What people could maybe relate to is, there is a lot of just plain wall in this room. No, you can't really see it very well. I mean, in your shot, you can kind of see just like acoustic foams over there. Obligatory acoustic foams plastered on the wall. But I thought about, I knew these existed, but I didn't really know, like sound dampening like blankets. which exist, right?
Yeah.
For the purpose of sound dampening, and they're really good. They're also really expensive. Probably less expensive than, ironically, if you were to buy acoustic foam. Now that I think about it, because when you when you think about it, acoustic foam was kind of expensive. Like you buy like behind you, like what is that, 12, and it's like $50, and you're like, fuck, for some damn foam, packing foam, you know?
It's 16 actually.
Oh,
It's
maybe
a 4.
you're right.
It's a 4x4.
You're right. I thought it was 4x3. Anyway, so I thought about it, and then I found moving blankets, which in my mind, like, yeah, sure, right? But how much do they help? Obviously not as much as like the actual, like, standard acoustic blankets, right?
Right.
And they technically aren't really for sound diffusion, but rather just sound absorption.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also like big blankets for like $5 to $6 a pop.
That's like,
and these are like 80-inch, like 80 by 70, like big ass moving blankets, you know? And I thought about it, I'm like, why haven't I thought of it? So I'll start, as time goes on, I'll start lining as much as I can, as much of the walls as I can, see if that helps at all. I don't know if it will or not, but I know it's because of the geometry of this room, the way I speak, I'm speaking right into that corner.
right.
And you're speaking right against this wall. This wall bounces right back into my mic.
Yeah.
You know? And I speak right into that corner. You know? You know?
Yeah.
The geometry of this room is very odd. And I realized that. And I also realized that in the place where we probably should have sound dampening, right next to the damn AC, there's none.
And guess where there is a shit ton of sound dampening? Over there.
Over there on that one wall where nobody really speaks towards anymore. But it existed when my desk was over here, so it made sense. But then now it's like, I don't really want to take it down. Because it's like command strip, Zach. I don't want to, you know what I mean? That's
It's either you rip it or you take paint off the wall, and there's not really a whole lot.
Command strips, they're pretty well. It's hit or miss. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's why this is here. Nobody can see it. It's really heavy. I was like, my mom was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, moving blankets." And she's like, and then I walked off with no further explanation. But yeah,
no need. Keep them guessing always.
I just thinking about things that I can do to help with the set, because I do want to eventually, because I remember the damn curtains that I was supposed to put up, Zach, and I never put up.
Yeah,
I never put them up. But I'm thinking maybe I can just kind of just put the moving blankets against it, and it'll just work. Because I just don't want to drill holes and set up like a curtain thing. You know, I hate drilling. If I can avoid drilling holes, I would do. I just don't like that. I just don't like doing it, especially when, you know, again, it's not my room, right?
Right.
It's not very ideal in these scenarios. But this, I mean, I just put it up with push pins, I guess. Thumbtacks. Fuck it.
You're gonna need a lot of thumbtacks.
I got a whole thing over there. It's all good.
Them fuckers is heavy.
I've seen people just 1, 2.
Oh. I
mean, we'll figure that out, and maybe it's gonna just fall on our guest one day. But oh shit, my fault.
Oh shit, my B.
We could try that. But anyways, yeah, Weathering is a great anime. It is a great film. There's not much else I want to say other than what we've already said. It's great. The OST is fantastic. The
story is fantastic.
The voice acting, I just love voice acting in these Makoto Shinkai, and just in movies in general. I find that voice acting in these movies, in Silent Voice, and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, and Josie, the voice acting has this kind of subtleness.
I've never watched I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I should.
You can do that, Zach. I'm not gonna do it. It's too early for me to rewatch it because my heart still aches. I did buy the light novel though. Why did you do that, Anuki? Because I want to cry, Zach.
Why did you do that, Anuki?
I was just curious because I was just at the store, and it was me and Christian. We were at the Japanese store again, as we do every now and then, and I saw it, and I'm like,
how bad could it be?
You know what? Sure, why not? You know. Because I also bought, there's another one. I'd be down to watch it with you because I haven't watched this in years. 5 centimeters per 5 centimeters per second. It is. Jamie mentioned it before. He gave it like a 10 out of 10 or something. And I was incredibly shocked because this movie is like, I can't remember if it's Makoto Shinkai, but I could be wrong. But it is really nice. The visuals are amazing, of course. And the OST is so pretty. It's one of my favorite OSTs in just anime movies. But the premise of the movie is about long distance relationships. But you wouldn't know that if I didn't tell you, because it's so like, this movie is one of those like really interpretive, really vague movies. So it's like, oh, it's to me, like, Jamie didn't get that, but I got it because there isn't really like this underlining plot story. It's more just things happen and then you just kind of understand the relationships of people. And it's like, I'm not sure what's going on, but it's really nice. It's really pretty. I enjoy the vibe. And then as as plot lines start to connect and stuff, it's more of like, you're just in, it's like a symbolic movie, I guess, right? It's one of those watches. And it's been I really liked it, but it's been so long. I wonder how it's held up. So we could watch that. That could be fun to watch. It's kind of
that could be fun.
Just a chill watch, unless you want to watch Pancreas, of which case, go on, Zach.
It was really cool going to an actual bookstore and looking at the giant section that they had for manga. Because
were you recording when you were mentioning that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Wait, were we?
You might not have. I feel like you weren't. If you weren't,
I went to Powell's Books and I was just looking around and I found the manga section and I spent 90% of my time there. I found the Parasite manga.
I did this. I'm the reason why you're in that aisle.
Yeah, I know. Parasite manga. I found the Demon Slayer manga, obviously. Your Name. The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. Oh shit, what else was there? Obviously there was like Attack on Titan and like that kind of stuff. One Punch.
I love One Punch Man.
I love how I can't say the name of that show normally.
Oh, there's no way.
One Punch.
Do you see that over there, Zach? Do you notice one of those mangoes that draws your eye? Nobody can see it unless we have the third angle.
Well, I see.
What do you see over there, Zach?
Origaru and Erased. Erased was also at Powell's.
I need to find volume. I couldn't find. I was at Barnes and Noble with the same friend, because Team Barnes and Noble. I guess I don't know. I didn't know this was the thing. And there's never Erased manga. There's always 2 and 4, and every time I've gone back, there has been no more. Bars 1 and 3 is just gone. What the fuck? I'm not gonna read 2 if I don't even get 1. So I don't know. I may have to buy it from Bezos, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but it may have to happen. But yeah, I okay. Really quick. So Erased, we talked about Erased and how people aren't really the biggest fan of it, specifically because of like its ending and the way it what it covers. Sorry guys, it tried to end itself with 12 episodes. What are you gonna do? And I was curious about it because I was like, I feel like as a fan of Erased and as someone who defends Erased as being a good show, because it is a good show, I should read it, like, so I know the other side. And I went there, so the first time I went there, right, and I saw Erased, I was like, oh, it's Erased, that's cool. And these are big books, like big volumes. I'm like, oh, I bet they have a ton of stuff. And I pulled out like what was basically volume 2, right, which is what I got. And I just flip it and just like scrub through it, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, there's a lot of things that we didn't see in the show.
I mean, that's kind of how it happens sometimes with so much source material.
Yeah, of course, right? And that's why I'm never gonna dog on it, but I'm like, oh wow, literally the first thing I flip, and I'm still flipping, and there's still things I haven't seen in the show. But to me, it's like, that's a good thing, because I have more to look forward to after watching only 12 episodes of a show I enjoy so much. And that's the fun of reading manga, right?
Right.
Because you have a show that is never going to finish in real life, and you want to know more about it, so you read on.
Oh, I also saw that manga at Powell's.
Yeah, I don't have the mangas, but I have the light novels that eventually I'll read at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of
I have 5 of them.
There's No Game No Life. There's No Game No Life 0.
No, I don't have 0.
Oh, well, it's a thing. And then what else do you have? 5 centimeters per second. I have 2 of them. So I have the manga. I didn't know it was based off a manga. I thought it was a light novel, but I could be wrong. I don't know. And there's a second one, which is a light novel,
and it's I think it's called The Second Side, which is a different point of view.
Whoa.
And I saw that, I was like,
Unironically pog.
unironic pog. Like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. That could be fun. So yeah, at some point I'll read them. I think I'm just slowly building my physical library. I don't want to do too much because, again, a lot of money now. I'm no longer Bulba Man, but you know.
Yeah, but also once you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to buy anymore, then you're gonna have so much stuff to look forward to for so long.
I think it's fun that I haven't read these because I can just take them out and read them anytime, you know, like it's a library. And I never thought of it that way. Okay, now I'm happy that I haven't read No Game No Life and all these things over there yet. I'm glad I haven't done it yet, because then I have content I can read at any point. Okay, I'm happy. Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. There's also a lot of content that you can enjoy at any time on our channel. And if you want to look at some more of our stuff, or if you're interested in seeing what stuff we talk about in the future, hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like button. There's another button there too, but it doesn't really...
Are you okay, Zach?
What?
You sound dead as fuck.
I'm just tired.
Where's the YouTube energy, Zach?
I'm sorry. If you like this video,
make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to like the smash button. Notification the bell.
Yeah.
Bell the notification button.
We have links down in the description, like coffee. If you want to listen to an audio only version of this show, it should be up on Spotify by the time this comes up. And links to my socials, links to Arthur's socials, and also we got a couple videos.
Oh, he pointed up again. I was waiting for. Oh, he's gonna point. I'm not gonna say anything. Obviously, we're gonna point up.
Fuck. So let me try this again.
It's okay.
So we have videos that are popping up that are going to be recommended to you. We could erased the episode that we did on that, and then also we have another show, another anime that we talked about. I don't know. I don't want to recommend the Bunny Girl Senpai episode because it's almost.
What
3
about
hours.
the Your Name one?
Oh, Your Name.
Because we talked about weathering with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Your Name. Erased.
Cool.
Anywho, I love your face. Goodbye.
Goodbye.